Pollard out. Who got next?
Some of the names the moment era call can't even make the team, much less for captain it.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sports DTM fans, and welcome to another episode of Sports Down the Middle, your channel of undiluted sports content. Raymond and I are here to talk about the replacement for the retired Kieron Pollard. He has announced his retirement, and we're looking at shortlisting the candidates that will replace him, Raymond. And recently we did a poll on should Kieron Pollard be replaced as West Indies captain, and an overwhelming percentage, 72%, said yes. So Raymond, Kieron smelled the rat, the term we want to use, smell the rat and decided, say, you know what, I got caught before the selectors to this poll and decide for act.
Yeah, Kurt, it's unfortunate that, because of the bad form Pollard was in, he took it as an opportunity to retire from international cricket. You'd figure that, you'll wait until he's on the up. But, some persons might say it's best to leave before it's too late. And so Pollard is one of those persons who, with what is being said out there in the media and all about and pundits and different fans, pretty much bashing him, and he's in a terrible form now. He rather just walk away from it, and that is what he has done. And that opened up a space, that's opened up a big space for somebody else. And of course, of a few names, as you cycle through, you'd realize that some have experience, some have youth, and some lead from the front.
Right, so we now have shortlisted the persons that we think are in a position to replace Kieron Pollard, fans. And we're looking for a captain who is brave, one that is experienced as a leader, one that thinks outside of the box, and one that will lead from the front. The West Indies is ranked 9th in ODI as of April and 7th in T20. So we need somebody who is going to think outside the box. We can't continue in the same way and expect to move up the ranking. So we have a list of candidates, Raymond. The first one is Rovman Powell, age 28, is a semi-permanent member of the team at the moment. He's very consistent for Jamaica, and he leads the Talawa franchise for a couple of years now. Though they're not performing well, I'm not sure if I can totally blame that on the captain. But when the West Indies toured Bangladesh in 2020, and most of the senior players were unavailable, Rovman was captain of the ODI team, which means that the West Indies selectors see him as a possible leader, and he is one of the shortlisted candidate for captain of the West Indies team.
Well, surprise, Kurt. Rovman Powell. One thing one can expect from him, from a batting perspective, is a lot of explosion, passion. Pretty much, egging on the team and possibly building some chemistry within the camp. It's kind of interesting to have him. He's fairly young, and so it's almost as if, even though you have experience captaining the Talawa, captaining at the West Indies level might be a little stretch for him, and so he would come to the table with pretty much limited experience where that is concerned, and would have to learn on the job for that level of cricketing and and in a sense that level of work, and so it's kind of tricky for him. If you ask me, it's really tricky for him. But the passion will be there, as of course, and he could possibly lead from the front from a batting perspective where West Indies struggle a lot from, and so I can see why he will be there. But once again, it would be really tough. He would not be one of the main candidates if you ask me.
So he fits the bill because of the factors that we're looking at. The next candidate is the ever-present Jason Holder, one of the few players who is playing all formats of the game. He is a former captain, age 30, captained the West Indies in ODI for 86 matches. He won 24, lost 55, a win percentage ratio 27.9 or 28%. Holder is a very mature player and leader, and we see that every time he plays. Is he more mature now because he was entrusted with the captaincy at age 23, and this is the result. He was relieved of the duties. The West Indies Cricket Board didn't say why, but he's one of the candidates that make the shortlist for captain.
Yeah, I can see why. So Holder actually brings a lot of experience. I think the only issue with him is probably his age, and person might actually say we need a renewal and probably possibly somebody younger. But outside of that, given that you're in a rebuilding kind of phase, you want somebody with experience there. And Holder, to me, given what he has been through, is pretty much gain a lot of experience, and to the point that you can almost see that he's almost at that level now to help with the transition and being the captain for West Indies. So he can do it with a bat and ball, and he's not shy and is willing to take it on, lead from the front. Very creative, and so I'm almost batting for a Holder to help with the transition, and it's from a transition standpoint, because once again, West Indies is going through that, and you need somebody experienced. And Holder, Walpole a lot of learning experience, and he's reached the point now that he's able to pretty much use that and bring us forward.
So if we're to look at the amount of matches him win as captain is a challenge for him on. And if we're to look at the former captain and even the one before Holder, Sammy, both of them win ratio was much higher, and Pollard only captain for 24 matches, and it seems like forever. He won 13, a win ratio of 54, and we cry for Pollard to be replaced. Well, the fans cried for Pollard to be replaced on numerous occasions, and the poll proved that. But with a win ratio of 27 versus Pollard 54, this will be a backward step.
Yeah, some might argue that it would be, but you have to understand that Pollard is much older. No pun intended. But yeah, Pollard is much older. All right. And so with that said, and the fact that he has retired, to me, the next best person who would bring that level of experience is Holder. Given his win percentage, I understand that is not the best, and it's only a matter of time of getting more matches under his belt. Given his experience now, I'm expecting that to improve, and you possibly can win at the right moments and deliver a tournament. So that is something persons should not forget. That given even the transition to a Holder, a Jason Holder, would be the type of person who can help bring us through that.
When I heard you
a strong candidate.
When I heard you said Pollard is much older, I thought you were going to say that his hand coordination is off, but I'll leave that alone. Your fans out there will ask you, how long will this transition last? Because I've seen them ask you before, like you're always talking about transition. When it got done, when it got end.
It's almost as if a higher placing in some of these tournaments. So in this World Cup, it's pretty much pushing to semi-final, quarterfinals, and making a good showing. So if they should be able to do that, you would say the transition is almost complete with under Jason Holder captaincy.
The next candidate is far left, right? Shimron Hetmyer, right? He's 25. He's the youngest of the bunch. He's the West Indies player that everybody is talking about right now. He led the West Indies under 19 to glory in the 2015-2016 ICC under 19 World Cup. And he scored a lot of runs in that World Cup match as well. And while he was captain in the team, the coach at the time said that we liked the way he went about it on the field. He did things a little differently. He was very positive in terms of passion and enthusiasm. You can't fault that in him. So the coach at the time saw him as a captain, saw him as somebody who would think differently, and his approach on the field with passion and enthusiasm. I don't think that has changed. In recent times, his passion his dad went off, according to coach and selectors. He was not in the team because they were very disappointed in his fitness level. But he has been one of the names being called. First, he must have met the team, right? Or first, he must have select him to be the captain, and this is for a longer period than the others.
Yeah, Kirk. 6 years ago, they saw the talent and they saw the potential. He became captain, and pretty much after being captain at under 19, you're expecting now going forward into his senior career, he would be able to pretty much show what made him captain in his earlier years. But that wasn't the case. In fact, what the selectors are saying and the coach are saying that he's not interested and he's letting himself go in a sense and he's unfit. His batting performance is showing otherwise, and so he has a point to prove. I wouldn't necessarily say he would be captain just yet. He has some work to do to get back to that 19 passion in a sense and prove everybody wrong. I would not want to put that pressure on him and have his batting performance dip, because we all know how much West Indies needs that. And having him captain and perform unexpected to bat, that might be a little stretch for him now. Not to say in the near future, the same 28 like a Powell or 29, he could possibly be, or even earlier. But I'm putting that 28. He could possibly be the captain then, as his passion would burn through and his leadership would show too. Because outside of, say, a Pooran, who would probably be pushing and egging on persons to come on and do a little better in the field and so forth, even the batting, Hetmyer can do that. And Hetmyer can do that, especially with his performance. So you would say that he would lead from the front with the bat.
And having watched Hetmyer in recent times playing in the IPL, see where he has taken on the responsibility of chasing down whatever runs his team get, and even in the post-match interviews, I can hear a player with sense. And that is one of the things that we've been asking for players to play with their brain. And Hetmyer is pushing his resume to the front that, hey, I am one of those players who actually play with my brain. The next candidate, Raymond, Nicholas Pooran, of course, is 26, one of the most talented youngsters in the Caribbean. He was recently promoted to vice captain of the team and was, I suppose, understudy to Kieron Pollard. He led the West Indies in a couple matches in India, and he led from the front with the bat. He is probably the front runner for captain, but I'm seeing there might be an issue in terms of giving Pooran additional responsibilities. And if I'm to use his current form in the IPL, for example, playing as a wicket keeper and batting lower down. We're not seeing that vintage aggressive Pooran coming to the fore. I don't know if it is because he's now playing as a full-time wicket keeper and then he's expected to bat. And then when we had captaincy to that for the West Indies, playing as a wicket keeper, especially in T20, captaining the team and then expecting to score bulk of the runs, are we asking too much of Pooran?
Not really, Kurt. In fact, if there's anybody a close rival to my pick holder, it would definitely be Pooran. If you're not looking, if you want to go straight in, ignore the steady hand at the ship and whatnot, and a full on experienced person, and does head first into the transition, then Pooran is the person you would just put on the captaincy. You're right, it's kind of tricky for him, batting, wicket keeping, and captains. It gets a little tricky. However, I'm seeing Pooran as a young man who is up and willing to take on a task of that nature. And so once again, if you're looking to not ease into the transition and jump headfirst into it clearly Pooran, being understudy in Pollard, would be the perfect pick.
I mean, we also have to mention Shea Hope. Can't make the team right now, but he was vice captain for an extended period.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention to Shea Hope.
Right.
And Andre Russell, who is always unfit, or some person said that he's not committed to the West Indies team, but his name is also being mentioned.
Not an honorable person, definitely.
Fans out there, we would love to hear from you. Who you think should replace Kieron Pollard for the West Indies in both T20 internationals and ODIs? We have shortlisted 4 candidates: Rovman Powell, Jason Older, Shimron Hetmyer, and Nicholas Pooran. Let us know who you think should take over the mantle, who should lead the West Indies into the end of this transition that Raymond constantly speak about. Who should lead the team there? We're currently 19 ODI and 17 T20, and we don't want to see the team there. There is an upcoming World Cup, and we want to hear the replacement soon and very soon. So fans out there, just leave those comments in the comment section below, and always remember to like, to share, and to subscribe, and to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell all of them friends to come and join the Sports DTM family. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Raymond and I are signing out. Be blessed.